All right, Dynasty dudes, how are we doing today? Mac and I are going to dive into the playoff scenarios and what can and can't happen. The nice thing about this league, I guess, in one way to think about it, is you are never eliminated from the playoffs until the playoffs start. Because even if you are unable to win your division, if you score enough points, you can get in. So the last week, you never know, you could put up 500 points and squeak into the playoffs. That being said, a lot of you are out of it already, so don't worry about it. So as it stands right now, first off, Mac, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Life good, Georgetown?
Everything but basketball is going well for
Yeah, so
Georgetown.
what was that you posted about basketball? I didn't read it.
They're just sucking.
Oh, okay. That's
Um,
all.
so Ewing didn't win a single game in the Big East
Yeah, I saw that.
last season, and it looks like that might happen again. They just lost to South Carolina, who's pretty bad. They lost to American, who's pretty bad. So they play Siena Wednesday. They'll probably lose that.
That's not ideal.
Yeah, so all the fans are calling on them to fire Ewing, but
Well, like the thing about Georgetown is like they're always great and they get into the tournament and do well, but everyone always says they play against all these garbage teams because their
yeah,
division or their conference. So if you're gonna play all these bad teams, you got to beat them. All right. Anyways, talk about the league. So as of right now, Dennis has secured winning his division, so he is in. Rob has won his division; he is in. However, Caleb in the South, Caleb and Wes are currently tied at 9-4. Wes pretty much has a guaranteed win, which you mentioned already. Caleb is playing against who does he got? I don't remember.
I think Big D, Lil Johnson.
Yeah, so that could go either way, and I know that Toby's still trying to make the playoffs too, so
Right.
it could go either way. And honestly, Caleb getting Eckler helps him out a lot. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had much faith in his team
Right.
to win this week.
Toby's got a ton of buys, I think, this week. So
Does he?
that's
Okay, yeah,
yeah.
we'll look into each individual matchup as we go. Oh, little girl, it's okay. I might have to hold her. That might help. But did you? Oh, just spit. Okay, so then so whoever wins that, Wes is almost guaranteed win. So Caleb needs to win that, but if he wins, he should be okay. Because tiebreakers for seeding just points for, or is it head to head?
I believe it's points. Well, it's head to head and then points for. No. Sorry.
Yeah, let me look. I
It's
can look
points
here.
for. Pretty sure.
Yeah, well, I need to look. Let's see. Reports, league. Rules. Here we go. It should be right here. Yeah, so standings are overall winning percentage and then head-to-head record, divisional winning percentage, and then points scored. So that's for standings alone for just winning your division. And then for wild card, it's just points for. So if they both win, Wes could still get first if he outscores Caleb. I'm sorry. I take that back because Caleb has the head-to-head, right?
Right.
Okay.
Caleb's undefeated in the division.
Yes. Okay. So with that being said, then he should be good to go because even if they split head-to-head, I know Caleb beat Wes once. So if Caleb wins, he's got the division locked up. Wes is in no matter what, just for points alone, more than likely. So he should be good, but just depends on whether he gets divisional or not. So your division's kind of crazy. You have to, if you lose and David wins, then you'll have David has the divisional record. Head to head, what do you guys look like? How'd you guys do?
We're 1-1.
So then if David wins and you lose, he takes the division.
Yeah.
Okay. So you need to win that one. All right. So then we start looking at wild card, and that's where things get a little interesting. So I kind of want to look at the possibilities. So right now, if things were to finish as they are right now, then Wes would have the number one wild card. Or no, David would have the number one wild card. And if he wins and you lose, then you'd have the one based on points right now.
Right.
But then David will have the where'd it go? Who are you? You're Mo Cox. Yeah, you're winning right now. So it looks like David will have the number one wild card unless he gets dramatically outscored. And then after that, it would follow to be 1409, which is Wes. And then it comes down to Toby at 1357. So there's the 7. And then myself or James at 1329. And then
Yep.
myself at 1320. So I'm on the outside looking in, down 9 points right now.
Right.
At the 9. It looks like those are the only teams that have a shot, really. After that, there's a big drop off. So
Yeah.
no one else, correct? I don't think so.
Correct.
Okay. So let's look into the matchups. I figure that's what we can do and kind of see what it looks like may happen. So looking at Toby and David, right? Is that it?
Mhm.
Toby's Big D, Little Johnson.
Yeah.
He's favored right now. Why can't I see matchups? Is it in game day? Is that where I got to go? Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to screw this up here.
Is it live scoring all the way on the right, and then can you change the week?
Oh yeah, that's right. Can you change week though?
Maybe not.
No, I don't think you can. If I go to game day, can't I change the week in there? Game day right here. Oh, no, I guess not. Great. It just shows last week. Okay, anyways, we can just look at their teams. So we got Big D Little Johnson right here. So as we look at Toby's team, he's gonna be starting Kirk Cousins at quarterback. Probably Ramondre Stevenson. But he's got Jonathan Taylor and Antonio Gibson on bye. So he's gonna be going out there with Ramondre Stevenson and Devin Singletary.
Right.
He also has Terry McLaurin on bye. So you have Debo Samuel and Deontay Johnson, T. Higgins. That's not bad.
Not great.
No, because he's gonna have to start multiple receivers. And then Dawson Knox, tight end. Yeah, that's not great. His IR is what's killing him right now. Honestly,
Right.
could he potentially risk falling out of the playoffs, you think?
He could. I think if he scores low enough, his
Because me and
totals
James and I are only 30 points behind him, I think.
So he's got 1357. James is 1329. You're 1320.
So it's possible.
Yeah, I mean he's only 30 points above, so that's 110 and 80, and that's definitely doable.
Yeah. So let's see. But looking at his team, it's just, I mean, and Ramondre Stevenson's going up against a good defense this week. In if I remember, are they playing? Oh no, the Cardinals. Yeah, Ramondre should get him some points against the Cardinals. But Devin Singletary going up against the Jets. Jets have a good run defense.
You also have Cook taking more snaps now in Buffalo.
Yeah, that's true as well. Who the Vikings going up against? Lions. Okay, Kirk Cousins should get him some points this week against the Lions. So that should help him out. All right, let's look at David's team. I don't expect him getting, I mean, maybe 80-ish points, 85-ish, maybe.
Toby?
Yeah, I mean, his receivers will have to really pop off.
It should say what his projected is, does it? Maybe that's just in the app.
In the app, I know it does. I don't know what's up with. I mean, it says he's projected to win by 6.
Toby is?
Oh, here we go. Starting lineups week 14. Okay, there we go. Much better.
All right, nice.
Okay, so Toby's projected at 113 compared to David at 107. So does David have some guys out too on bye?
Is Dave's lineup set? He may now set it.
He's got Alvin Kamara on bye here, so he needs to put in. I mean, he doesn't really have anyone to put in there. I mean, I guess Chuba Hubbard. I don't think Damon Harris is going to be back yet. Oh, but could he put a receiver in?
Yeah, because you only need 2 backs.
He doesn't really have anyone though.
No.
I mean, so Toby can win, but the win doesn't matter in this case, really, for him. It's just the points. So David, I mean, he's going to be in either way. I don't think you have to, unless Toby really craps the bed, I don't think you have to worry about David losing to Toby or beating Toby. I mean, I just don't know if he has the pieces, but his receivers are pretty good though. So I don't know. I think you're safe, Mac. I don't think David wins just because Toby has a more filled out team.
I'm not sure if I win.
But if you both lose, you're fine, right? Aren't you first currently? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's fine. Yeah, go ahead.
Amon-Ra should have Williams back. Who's the rookie?
Jameson Williams.
Yeah.
I don't see him eating into Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, St. Brown's like one of the top 10 receivers in the league right now.
I agree, but I think that's because there's nobody else.
You don't think he's talented?
No, I do, but I think that's inflated. Like he's
Oh,
been
maybe.
doing way better since Hawkinson left too.
I mean, he was good even when Hawkinson was there.
Good, but I think he's been putting up like 18
Yeah.
to 24 points.
Yeah. I just think St. Brown is that good. Like, honestly. I think
Yeah.
the Lions, if like I would say I think the Lions would be really good when they get a good quarterback, but Jared Goff has not played poorly. But anyways. Okay. So in that case, I think Toby's got a chance of missing the playoffs, depending on how these guys do. Like having to play
Right.
KJ Osborne and Marvin Jones does not bode well for him.
I think he's got to score at least 90.
Yeah.
If
Because
he
I
can't
think
hit 90, then
we'll see what happens. I mean, James has Aaron Jones on bye this week. So James
right.
might not score a ton. It'll depend on how some of these guys play out. Like if Alvin Kamara and Kenneth Walker and ETN are both back for me. And if Derek Carr does what he's done the last few weeks, he might just get knocked out. So we'll see. But both of us would have to pass him though. So that's the thing.
Right.
I think more than likely they're probably both fine. All right, Wes. We don't even need to look at that. He's got the division unless Caleb loses. But he'll be fine. Okay, so Mo Cox, Mo Problems. That's Garrett, right? And he's not competing, correct? Neither of these
Yeah,
teams
he
can
can't
compete?
get in.
Okay, so we can skip both of those. All right, so this one's big. So Dennis has got projected 136. No one on bye to worry about. I mean, Alan Lazard, but he's wouldn't be playing him anyways. Versus you, yikes. Yeah, I don't know about your odds to win here, buddy. You got to play Mike Boone.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. Because Pittman's on bye and Montgomery's on bye.
Right.
That is not ideal. Yeah, you might fall to wild card, but that just means you and David would switch, right?
Yeah. So basically, I go from the 4 to the 5.
Yeah, that doesn't make a big difference. So you're still probably playing each other in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if Dave wins the West and Caleb wins his division, then Dave moves to 3rd, Caleb moves to 4.
Okay.
But
if you win, then you're the 4 and Dave's the 5.
Right.
Okay. So that makes sense. All right. Yeah, I don't think you win. So you need to hope for David to lose, which he could. Just depends on what Toby does. All right. This is probably the game of the week, right? Myself versus James. Yeah. So right now I'm projected at 127 compared to James 106. Need to score 9.4 more. I'm probably going to sit Lamar Jackson even if he comes back. Just I cannot risk.
Right.
I can't risk him getting benched later on in the game. So let's see. Does he have anyone on bye? He's got Aaron Jones on bye. And he has to play Tyler Conklin and Foster Moreau. I feel like I should pass him this week, right?
I think so.
I think
Is
so.
Etienne a sure thing?
Etienne said he's coming back. His coach said he's playing as well.
All right.
Only question is Kenneth Walker, really, and David Njoku. So if Njoku doesn't play, I have to play Noah Gray for Kansas City, which that's maybe 0 points. So that will suck. Hopefully he plays. I don't think he's going to. And with Kenneth Walker, let's see. He has that strain in his foot. He's not ruled out, but if he is out there, I've got to play him and just hope. Luckily, they have like no other running backs.
Right.
They've got guys, but they suck. But if he doesn't play, I can still play Rondale Moore or Tyquan Thornton, who I don't know. We'll see what happens. It really sucks Melvin Gordon went down because I would like to play him, and Paris Campbell's on bye. But I think that I win this. It's just, do I win by 9 is what it comes down to. And if Joe Mixon doesn't play another week, I think James is really screwed because he doesn't really have a running back to put in for him or a receiver in that case. So I'm fingers crossed Joe Mixon doesn't play. But my prediction would be that I get in. And would you agree with that, you think?
Yeah. He can always go trade for like Zonovan Knight or pick up Seattle running back. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's got some options.
Waivers go tonight, and I'm going to be trying to make sure that any of those guys like that are not available. So that's how I feel about it.
But yeah, basically, if you're trying to make the playoffs, you made it, exception to the herbivore and either you or
James. Yeah. And maybe Toby, if me and James both pass him. But I don't think James is going to pass him by 30.
Yeah.
I just don't see it happening. Unless like one of his guys just go nuts, but like his receivers are pretty doo-doo. And if Joe Mixon doesn't play, his whole team's pretty doo-doo. So surprised he's actually Geno Smith is just been amazing for him, and Mixon and Chubb. So, but yeah, I don't know that there's really much else there to discuss. I think those are really the only games of note. So it looks like then for our playoff bracket, if things hold the way that you and I would predict, it's going to be Rob versus myself, right? Is what we would expect.
Yep.
And then Dennis versus who do we say would be the 7?
Toby.
Toby. Yep. Rob versus Toby. Or I'm sorry, Dennis versus Toby. So I feel badly for Toby. I'd rather play Rob, even though Rob's going to be 14-0.
I know.
And then the 3 versus the 6 would be Caleb versus who's 6? Wes?
Pay for Dak.
Yeah. Caleb versus Wes, probably. And
That's
then
fun.
And then you versus David for
Yep.
4 and 5. And then it may shuffle. So that's what we're projecting. Things could change. And this matchup, what you two do is huge. Caleb needs to win or they'll switch. And then did we say what we thought Caleb would do? Did we touch on that?
Not sure if we looked at the matchup too close. It was because he was playing Toby, right?
Was that what it was?
I think so.
No.
Or no, Dave was playing Toby.
I don't think we looked at Caleb's. Let's see.
He's playing Mitch, I think, the herbivore.
Yep. Okay, so what's their projection at 123 to 86? So he should be okay.
Yeah.
Supposing, I mean, Mitch traded away his good players.
Mitchell's giving his team.
Mitch also has 2 guys on bye here. So let's see if he put in Zay Jones and Josh Reynolds. Is that what he would need to do? Yeah. I mean, that's going to add 9 points. 94. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
His Broncos defense is going up against the Chiefs, so he honestly could have negative points. And the Bills could get a crap ton of points against the Jets. You never know with that matchup. So things could really switch, but I would expect Caleb and West to stay put where they are. Probably both win this week. So yeah, interesting stuff. I think it always ends up being really interesting end of the year with this league because you don't get too many people tanking, which I like. I think that I was talking to one of my other leagues about this. They have only 6 out of 16 make the playoffs. And you just get so many people tanking. Like, I think it was 17 of the 32 teams had 7 or were 3 games below 500. 17 to 32 were 3 games below 500 or worse. So it was just like, once people realize you're not one of the top 6 teams,
right?
They're just like, well, I got no shot. So they just drop out pretty early on in the year. So it just means that like the other teams just get stacked because they buy all the stuff from the crappy teams.
Right.
So I like that we do 8 because I think it keeps more teams in it. I mean, if it was 6, I wouldn't, myself and James both, and probably Toby as well, would have backed out a long time ago, you know?
Yeah.
So
you started out tanking and then you flipped it.
Right. And you would never have that if there was a 6-team playoffs. Right. So I like the 8. I think it's even better than 7. I've been trying to convince this other guy to go to 7, but he won't do it. So whatever. But yeah, I think it works well. And I grow to love this league more and more every year. For those of you that don't know, Mac's going to join me and James as co-commish for next year. What the roles are going to look like, we're not exactly sure. We're going to look into it, but I know you guys have talked about having someone take care of accounting. So at least one of the 3 of us will be in charge of that and deciding if we go to, what's that called? League Safe?
League Safe.
Yeah. Deciding if we go to League Safe or not, or if we just keep it with Venmo. So that way we can just have those things be a little more fluid. And then also just some of the decision-making about how to keep running the league. So input's always welcome, but it just becomes a lot when you're commission of 7 leagues. Doing it by yourself is a lot. So I appreciate your guys' help.
And have a child.
Yeah, that too. I mean, she's pretty easy right now, but that changes. So who's your prediction to win the league overall?
Probably Caleb now.
We think that addition of Austin Eckler does it for him?
Yeah.
I mean, his team would go, let's see, where's the Caleb guy? Let's see here. I mean, his receivers are or his quarterback room's a little weak.
Yeah.
So
which is like,
get outscored.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if your quarterback could get you like 40 points, which some of these guys can,
Mhm.
but I don't think any of his guys have that ceiling.
No, so I mean, if he goes up against a guy like, does Rob have Justin Fields?
Yes.
I mean, he could
No,
lose
no,
to.
no.
No, who does?
I think CJ does.
Oh my gosh, is Justin Fields' season really getting wasted on CJ's team?
Yes.
Oh, that's so frustrating. I hate that. I mean, it's good for him, for CJ, but where's 12 Angry Kickers? Why don't I see it? Oh, there it is. Yep, Justin Fields. Wow, that's painful. All right, anyways, but let's see, where did the Caleb Godsey go? Is it at the bottom? Boom, boom.
It's Trevor Lawrence, isn't it?
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence, Austin Eckler, Dalvin Cook, Josh Jacobs, Brian Robinson. So he's got 4 running backs he can start. And then he still has AJ Brown. He has to start 3 though. So AJ Brown, Jacoby Myers, and Josh Palmer, he's starting every week. So I mean, his receivers lack a little bit outside AJ Brown. Especially if Jacoby Myers is injured. And then his tight ends aren't great either. I mean, Tyler
No,
Higbee's his
not.
best, and Higbee has sucked lately. So honestly, I don't know. I don't think he's a perfect team.
Peyton Manning's forehead might be the running back room's a little iffy, but Swift looked good last week.
I
James
mean,
Connors.
he has 4 guys that can get you at least 10 points a week. So
Yeah.
Latavius Murray's the only running back there. Swift looks like he's coming on. Mostert played a little bit this week, so it's just you have to play the right guys. His receivers are where it's at though, and having Burrow.
Right.
I
Only
think
one tight end, so if anything happens.
I think it comes down to 5 teams. I think Toby doesn't really have a shot unless JT goes nuts. I don't have a shot unless Lamar comes back, probably.
Right. Otherwise, I think your team's pretty balanced.
Yeah, I lack a tight end, which hurts. So, but my receivers and running backs are both good if they're healthy. So mine depends on health. So I think my team could have a shot depending on health. Wes, I don't think Wes's team is very good personally.
I don't think so either. Let me pull it up.
Dak Prescott looks pretty good right now, but Andy Dalton, both of them could do something. But his running backs are Christian McCaffrey and Dameon Pierce, so that's good. Both of them are solid.
Well, Pierce has not been doing well lately, right?
He's been bad lately. He has been bad lately. And Jamar Chase is solid, of course, but outside of that, he doesn't have much.
Right.
But Kelsey, though, is huge. I mean, we all know
True.
what Kelsey does. So, I mean, when you have Dak Prescott, Christian McCaffrey, Jamar Chase, Travis Kelsey, you just need some contribution from your other guys. So he'll just have to rely on those dudes stepping up. So he might have a shot. And then James, I don't think really has the team to contend. Rob probably does just because he's going to be playing the 8 seed. So he'll at least get into the semifinals. And then you get in the semifinals, anything can happen. So
I think some of these teams can have like first round will like score 140 and then second round like
yeah, that's the thing.
90, you know?
The best thing about our league is how many players you have to start.
Right.
You can catch fire and then just suck. But I'm glad we won't have any buys during the playoffs, so we'll have to see.
I can contend as long as Pittman gets targets.
Yeah, dude.
Pittman and Davis are kind of my
needed just a few points from Pittman this week. It is what it is. All right. Well, Mac, thanks for hopping on. Mm-hmm. Hopefully everyone knows what their team needs. I'm sure you probably already knew what your team needed, but now everyone knows where it stands, who's in, who's out. And hope you guys enjoy. Good luck in your playoffs, except for James and Toby at least. And then I will see you guys shortly. Adios.
See ya.
All right. Sweet. I stopped recording.